Hi there, and welcome to the first of 9 mini lectures for this course. What I'd like to do in this first week is to try and provide a bit of a framework for us to gain some precision about what we mean when we talk about global citizenship education. As teachers, we might be expected to teach students for a global understanding. You may find yourself teaching in a global setting. You may be asked to integrate global education in your classrooms. So, what does this mean, and how do we approach this understanding? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to the person asking you to incorporate global citizenship education? Even in watching the video for this week, shot at the second UNESCO Forum on Global Citizenship Education earlier this year, it is clear that there's ambiguity and inconsistency in the ways that we understand global citizenship. What I'd like to do today is to propose a framework for looking at global citizenship education and align 3 perspectives with terms so that we can get some precision about what we're talking about. First, there's global education. Global education might be seen as anything that can be done to support learners to succeed in the global community. Foreign language skills, cross-cultural experiences, geographic and political knowledge. These are an important knowledge and skill base for all 3 perspectives, but they tend to be specifically geared to individual success, often in global business or political arenas. Next is global citizenship education. This builds on the skills of global education, but it has a strong focus on the well-being of citizens around the globe. In this category, students might learn about how they can help others in faraway parts of the globe, raising money for global campaigns, and about their responsibility to teach and share best educational practices. This perspective tends to focus on a common humanity, on interconnectedness, and on universal solutions that people everywhere should strive for. Finally, critical global citizenship education is centered on root causes of global inequalities, particularly on the power relations and attitudes that maintain a globally imbalanced and unjust world. The focus in critical GCE is on ethics, justice, and empowerment. Thus, the educational tasks of critical global citizenship education are to examine, analyze, and take responsibility for one's own position, our assumptions, and our attitudes, to envision different possibilities for global and local relations, and to participate in changing the structures that exploit certain individuals and benefit others. You will have noticed from this week's reading that Vanessa Andreotti is specifically interested in the latter 2 realms and clearly advocates for a critical global citizenship education. In this article, she very nicely lays out the problematic of the notion of the global citizen, invoking scholars such as Andrew Dobson, Vandana Shiva, and Gayatri Spivak. Dobson's point is largely about global economic disparities. He asks, powerfully, through POG, how can severe poverty of half of humankind continue despite enormous economic and technological progress, and despite the enlightened moral norms and values of our heavily dominant Western civilization? This question asks us to look at the roots of poverty and inequality from a historical, a critical, and a sociological perspective. Shiva provides clarity on how the term global is used to maintain a status quo economic order. The global does not represent a universal human interest, she says. It represents a particular local and parochial interest that has been globalized through the scope of its reach. And Spivak speaks about the cultural dimensions of global citizenship, describing how the economic exploitation of the global south in the production of wealth for the global north enables the discourse of development as a civilizing mission of the other, and locates poverty as a responsibility of the poor. You may have noticed that the t-shirt that I'm wearing today has the label Global Citizen. For a couple of years before coming to Lakehead University, I led groups of high school students from Canada on a study tour through countries in East Africa. These trips were for a specifically selected group of students and funded through the Government of Canada. The goal was to come to better understand and appreciate the mechanics, the outcomes, and the experiences of Canada's role in international development around the world. As part of the experience, We were all given these t-shirts with Global Citizen emblazoned on the front. Needless to say, our groups used to stand out when we traveled in small packs in these matching t-shirts through many communities on the other side of the world that likely do not experience global citizenship with the same benefits that many Canadians take for granted. I find it useful to compare my experiences with those of Vanessa Andriotti during her training sessions for the Make Poverty History campaign. As she notes, for these global citizen education trainees, what they love doing might be directly related to the problems they are trying to address in the first place. The important question underlying our assumptions about global education is who. Who is included and who is not when we speak about a global village? Who and who does not have access to the resources and technologies that we deem as global? Who benefits when we make global and universal decisions about our curricular content, language, and pedagogy? One way to begin to examine these issues is by placing them within a framework with the archetypes of global education, global citizenship education, and critical global citizenship education. I'll leave it there for now, and I look forward to your discussions to start us off. Let me know by email or on the discussion board if you have any questions, and otherwise, speak again soon.